Happy to have Mario Bautista back on the show. Who's got another big fight, this time against the former champion Cody Garbrandt on August the 19th at UFC 292. Mario, thank you for the time.
Oh, not a problem, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah, happy to have you back, man. And as I was telling you before we went live here, I spoke to one of your teammates, Mike Hamill, yesterday. I know the MMA Lab had a big night at LFA last evening. I'm sure you were there, man. Tell me how the evening went.
It went pretty good. Yeah, I went down there to support the team. We had 8 fights. We went 7-1. But like I said, it can't be perfect all the time. But it was a good time, and it was pretty inspiring for me to see my teammates go out there and do their thing there. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be really cool for you too, especially a guy that's, at the highest of levels. You're competing in the biggest promotion in the world. And a lot of these younger fighters that are hungry to get to where you're at. I mean, that's just got to be kind of a good feeling to kind of, mentor them and see them as they rise.
Yeah. They follow. I mean, not in my footsteps, but like the path. They start on the local promotion. LFA comes into town. They get on that card, and that's kind of similar to how I came up. So to see those guys get in there and do well, I know what direction they're heading in and what path, and I just get excited for them.
Mike told me about someone, I think it was Ezra. Am I saying that right? Ezra Elliott?
Ezra Elliott, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. He
man,
said,
that kid's like I don't know, a phenom, but man, he is super good. Like for the experience he has, he's just an amateur. I think he might be 2-0 now since last night. An amateur, but man, he's given the 35ers, the pros, some problems, especially on the mat. So that's someone to keep your eye on, definitely for the near future.
yeah, that's what Mike was saying, that this kid is like a freak on the ground. Like even like guys that are welterweights or whatnot, if he gets on your back, you're in trouble.
Yeah, he's like we call him the human backpack at the gym. There's a thing, like if he gets on your back at the gym, expect to get submitted or be there for the whole 5 minutes. So he's pretty good.
Wow, very impressive. Now, the last time that we did speak, Mario, it was obviously after your big win over Guido Canetti. That was all the way back in March. So it's been a little while. What has life been like for you since? I'm sure just kind of staying sharp in the gym.
Yeah, that's been pretty much it. Just kind of staying ready for I was staying ready for like a big opportunity. I wanted to fight at least 3 times this year, and I was hoping July, but it got pushed back to August, which I didn't mind. That's a fight I'm willing to wait 1 extra month for. And that's just pretty much it. Just been game planning. I got to game plan pretty early for this fight. And yeah, just working out some things and waiting for camp to start so I could start revving it up a little bit.
When does camp officially start? Obviously, August 19th is still a ways out, but when will it start? When will you actually be like it really in the thick of things?
I usually start like 8 to 6 weeks out of the fight. That's where I'll start picking it up, start doing more intense rounds, more intense conditioning, um, and that's when I really start, the hard stuff and the dieting and all that.
Now everyone knows you're on a 4-fight win streak. Last loss was all the way back in 2021. This is actually only my second time interviewing you, so I wanted to just kind of get your take on that loss and how you've grown since. You've only lost twice as a professional, so is there something that you noticed from that loss to Trevin that's helped you really grow to get to where you're at now?
Yeah, I think the mindset change after that fight was just give it your all, like try everything as far as like different tactics and everything. With Trevin Jones, I was just kind of like in this keep it standing up kind of fight. And even in that fight, I came back to my corner. I was like, should I take him down? Because I felt when I wrapped up with him, I felt like I was stronger. And we were doing well on the feet. So, coach said not to. He said we didn't have to. Um, so from that fight, I going into any other fight, I mean, I'm gonna test you everywhere. Stand up, clinch, ground. So if I lose, I could say I tried everything. And with that fight, Trevin, I didn't try everything I could.
We touched upon this a little bit the last time that we did speak, but you got to be on the cusp of getting into that top 15 of the division. 4 straight wins, especially if you beat Cody Garbrandt. I have to imagine you'd be in there. And everyone knows 135 is one of the most loaded divisions that the UFC has, probably maybe the best. Do you feel like a big win here over Cody, that's going to be what it takes to really get you in there and start getting those really marquee fights to climb into that top 10, work towards a title shot?
Yeah, 100%. You get a win over a former champion, that puts you up there. And I think like this fight is pretty equivalent to like a top 15. So I was happy with it. A lot more eyes on me, obviously, for this fight. And yeah, like you said, like a big win over Cody, uh, puts me high up there. Pretty close to top 10, I believe. So I don't know. We'll see how the fight goes and how I perform, and see where that places me.
I looked on Tapology this morning, and right now they have you ranked number 24 in the world for all the bantamweights. Does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder? Do you feel like maybe you should be a little bit higher?
24. No, because that includes what, like everyone else from all other promotions.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is where it is. 24 out of all the bantamweights in the world. I guess that's not too bad. It's very deep. So, but no, I'm looking to jump some spots after this fight for sure.
Obviously, you're totally dialed in on Cody, but when you look at the back half of the top 15, Adrian Yanez, Ricky Simone, Gutierrez, Syed Nurmagomedov, there's a lot of good names there. Do you feel like you match up really good with a lot of those guys?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think I can compete with anyone in the division. And especially top 15. So yeah, I mean, not trying to look past Code or anything, but there's definitely some good fights there. Top 15, top 10.
Transition outside of MMA for a second. I know you're a proud father. I saw pictures on your Instagram of your adorable little girl. She is beautiful, man. What is that balance like to do your obligations as a father and kind of balance everything you have to do with training?
Actually, it's been very, very smooth for me. Ever since she's gotten older and gone to school, and her school hours, man, they just line up perfectly with my gym hours. So like when I'm going to the gym, dropping her off. When I'm leaving the gym, I'm picking her up. So it's pretty smooth. But yeah, she'll go to the gym with me pretty much every day. So it's I'm raising her, I guess, like in that gym, community. So it's not too separated. But yeah, I'm loving it. She's loving it. I gotta, um, she tells her friends, or her dad fights for a living, or my daddy punches people. It's hard to work around it. Hopefully, she don't end up punching anyone. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, again, I saw the pictures. She absolutely is adorable. So that's fantastic. It seems like things in your personal life are going just as great as your professional life. I mentioned Mike Hamill earlier, so I just wanted to get your take. He's got a big fight, Shamil Nakayev next. How do you see that fight? Analyze that for me if you don't mind.
uh, I see Hamill had like such a great performance last time with that head kick. Kind of surprised a lot of people. He's a very good wrestler, grappler. But I see Hamill just mixing it up, from grappling, from wrestling, and just I think this guy's like a little bit shorter than him, so we'll see how Hamill adjusts to someone shorter. But I see Hamill winning. I see him finishing this fight. So yeah, I'm excited for Hamill.
Obviously, he's a little bit bigger than you. He's fighting at lightweight now, but do you get a lot of working with him? Is he someone that you train with consistently?
Not as much anymore when he fought at 45, and even though he's the same size now, but at 45, he gave me a lot of rounds, a lot of work. Who did I fight? Miles Johns, kind of early in my career, because Miles we were thinking he was going to grapple a lot, so I went with Hamill on wrestling days for about 2 months straight. It seemed like, and it was like the worst 2 months of my life. But I grew so much from it. I noticed a change, in my grappling, and um, eh, pretty much my whole wrestling game. So I owe a lot to Hamill for helping me out with that.
Who is the most miserable training partner to go with at the lab? Is there someone in particular that just really pushes you that you're just like, oh man, I got to go with this guy again today?
I would say two people. One is Hamill on a wrestling day, because he'll just manhandle pretty much anyone. And then on the other hand, it's Benson, because Benson has like an endless gas tank, and he does, and all on the wrestling days too. So
Mhm.
Benson will just put your head into the mat and hold you there for about 45 minutes. So
Yeah.
those are not fun.
Yeah, wrestling is just it's brutal, and the older you get too, I mean, I trained a little bit when I was younger, and just the next day, how sore you can feel. You're not at that point yet, I'm sure, right? You're still so young, but do you still feel it where you're like, "Oh my God, yesterday was is really I'm feeling it today."
Yeah, we have like our hard day of wrestling on Tuesday, and man, the next day, I take the morning off the next day. But yeah, we definitely feel the Tuesday. We talk about it all the time at the gym. We got Tuesday wrestling. It's Tuesday today. So yeah, I would say that day.
Okay. And as far as getting ready for Cody, obviously there's so many great training partners to pick and choose from at the MMA lab. But do you feel like there's going to be someone in particular that is going to try and emulate him in this camp? Someone that maybe you're going to be working with more than others for this particular fight?
No one in particular, but I would say more of the 25ers at our gym. I'm trying to find that speed. I'm trying to adjust to it and get a good look, and just being prepared for Cody. So guys like On Ho, who fought last night, won the decision. Clay Carpenter, um, and a couple other 35ers and 25ers at our gym. The ones that are a little bit faster. So that's who I'm looking to work with this camp.
And how often is Sean O'Malley in the gym nowadays?
He'll come around every once in a while. For his camps, for sure, he's there, sparring with us. Um, but I'm sure that guy has so many obligations. He's with everything that's going on, so we don't see him too much, except for camps.
And with him fighting at UFC 292, same card as you're fighting next, I assume that maybe you and him will be getting a lot of work in together, as you both prepare for your fights. Is that fair to say?
Uh, I wouldn't say maybe like together, because usually when he has a fight coming up, I'm always there giving him rounds. But obviously, I'll be doing my own work, getting prepared for my own fight. So, if he was similar to Cody and I was, I guess similar to Sterling, we'd be doing rounds. But Shook's a little different body style than Cody, so we'll be working alongside each other. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just got to be nice to have someone of that caliber too. Helping you, helping each other as you both get ready for this big pay-per-view event. What did you think of the most recent title fight? Obviously, Aljamain retains. He beat Henry Cejudo. What's your analysis of that decision?
I thought it was right. I thought Sterling won. I I picked Sterling before the fight. Um, but yeah, it was a pretty good fight, and I was pretty impressed with Henry actually for coming back. 3 years off and getting in there with Aljamain, and putting on a pretty good performance. It was a close fight, but yeah, it was definitely interesting. Sterling showed that he can grapple with pretty much anyone in the world, even if you're the Olympic medalist or you know two-time world champion, whatever. But it was a really good fight, and I was impressed with both of them.
Do you think Sean is going to take the belt from Aljo? Like, how do you see that fight going? Forecast that one for me.
It's going to be a tough fight. I'm not saying Sean's going to go out there and beat him all 5 rounds, but Sean definitely has that chance to KO him and finish him, and it's been proven before. When Aljamain fought Marlon Moraes, all it takes is one shot, and Sean is definitely the person that can do it 100%.
Yeah, he's got that length, and he can be so awkward with his striking style as well. Do you feel like right now he might be the most dangerous matchup for Aljamain in the division?
Right now, I would say so. I don't think anyone, as far as like grappling, is on Aljamain's level. But the striking, you got Sandhagen out there, but Sandhagen got submitted pretty quick. Yeah, I would say this is a pretty dangerous fight for Sterling. And like I said, Sean can finish it pretty quick. And then on the flip side too, Sean has to worry about Aljamain Sterling because there's no one really like Aljo in the division. Super good grappler, wrestling and jujitsu. So that's something Sean's going to have to worry about as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, man. That's obviously the main event of UFC 292. The co-main event is Weili Zhang and Amanda Lemos for the 115 title. Give me your prediction on that one. How do you see that fight playing out?
Uh, I think that's going to be a pretty good one. They both you know have pretty good hands, put good power. Um, I'm gonna go with Wei Lee. She's a former champion. She's had some good wins, and I think she can get it done.
Really interesting one. Right now, there's only 3 fights that have been announced for UFC 292 in Boston. How excited are you to fight on this card, to fight in this pay-per-view, and to come up the I-95 to Massachusetts?
I'm super excited. It's a pay-per-view card in front of the Boston crowd, and I've been hearing crazy things about the fans over there. So I'm super excited. Um, you know, and to be on the main card, fighting a little bit later, have more eyes on me. So I'm excited to go over there and put on a show for those guys.
Now, are you a basketball fan? I know Mike is when I talked to him yesterday.
Unfortunately, no, I'm not. I don't watch too much sports. I'm just your pretty boring MMA guy. So there you go.
Well, there's nothing boring about your style, man. And this fight with Cody is one that, again, a lot of people can't wait to see. When I look at comments on different platforms, a lot of people think that you're gonna run right through him, and that's saying a lot because Cody Garbrandt at his best is a great fighter. Again, former champion. He did get his UD win his last time out, but before that, he lost 5 of 6. And granted, they were all to top level competition. So, having said all of that, Mario, do you feel like you're getting the best version of Cody Garbrandt, or do you feel like you're catching him at a time where maybe his chin's not as great as it used to be and his skills have diminished a little bit?
It's hard to say because he's kind of switched up his whole style. Like his last fight, he did not fight like the way he used to. And I think he's trying to go the more tactical route, the more, the experienced veteran, like pick your shots kind of deal. So I think it's a different Cody that I'm fighting, but I'm preparing for the best version of him, whether it's going to be that one that kind of dances around the ring and picks his shots, or whether we get the old Cody. I'm ready for both.
Do you feel like whatever version that you get of him, that you're just going to get the better of him? Like ultimately, how do you see this fight, playing out in your favor?
I see myself either getting a finish or winning a decision. The thing I got to watch out for. We all know Cody can put people's lights out, so that's one thing I got to worry about. But anywhere else, as far as like the pressure, the ground game, everywhere else, I see myself, winning a decision or finishing him.
And have you been told, is this going to be on the pay-per-view portion of the card?
Uh, I'm not too sure. I would imagine so. On Cody, because since Cody's, has a pretty big name and is on the card, I would imagine they do that. Or if not, I'll be that featured prelim or whatever. So,
Mhm.
well, it is what it is. There's going to be big fights on the card. Doesn't matter where I'm at. Um, I'm just ready to fight Cody.
Yeah. And obviously, I think it goes without saying this is the biggest fight of your career so far. I mean, obviously, you fought Corey Sandhagen. That was a few years back, but now here fighting the former champion. Do you feel, and I know this is still a ways out, but do you think that you're going to have like a different kind of pressure to go in there and get a marquee win here?
No, I've dealt with kind of like a little bit of pressure these past few fights. Um, I forgot what the odds were in my last fight, but he was a big underdog. So I had to go out there and make sure, I get it done. I can't lose to this guy, someone that I'm supposed to beat. And even before then, Benito, same thing. So there's a little bit of pressure I put on myself. I can't lose these fights, against these guys. Especially if I think I belong in the top 15 or if I want, better opponents, I better smoke these guys. So no, no added pressure. Um, I really don't like to do that to myself. I'm just going out there. Cody's a man. He bleeds. Um, he could lose. So nothing changes.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Can't wait to see you back in there. I know you said earlier in the interview that you're hoping to get a few fights this year. Will we see you again, win or lose, later on in 2023? As long as you're healthy, are you planning to get in here and fight at least one more time?
Yeah, I think after that August fight, I still got a couple more months before the end of the year, so I could definitely squeeze in another one. I would like to. I liked what I did last year. I had those 3 fights, and it worked out well for me.
Last question for me, different topic here. I just wanted to get your take on Francis Ngannou signing with the PFL and what you feel like that does for the promotion. I mean, do you feel like they're starting to get to a point where, potentially there could be competition for the UFC? Because right now it's the UFC and everyone else. I just wanted to get your overall thought on, in particular, the signing of Ngannou.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. He had like it seemed like he had a lot of stipulations in his deal with them. So I'm not too sure, and I wasn't even sure if they're gonna put him in the that tournament that they do every year, or if they're just gonna have special fights for him. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who they match him up against, and if he has good competition, if they're good fights, or if they just want to see him knock people out. But as for now, I just the UFC is still on top, and I think it's going to take a lot for another promotion to gonna get close. So,
If Ngannou ever fought John Jones, what would your pick be? How would you see that fight ending?
I would pick John Jones by either submission or like TKO, 100%. I think he would take him down. He wouldn't even mess with him on the feet, and that's how I would see that fight going. Similar to Cyril Gane.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's what I was going to say. A lot of people are like, "Oh, he's not even going to try and stand with Francis. He will get him right
No,
to the ground and play the smart fight." But you never know. I mean, John Jones, he's clearly, I mean, and rightfully so. He's big ego, and again, a lot of people think he's the greatest fighter of all time. So I would just like to see if he wanted to entertain the idea of standing and trading with Francis. That would be fun.
I would respect him so much if he did that. Even if he lost, I'd be like, man, props to you for even trying, for giving the fans what they want. So yeah, but I doubt
Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's what I'm
it.
thinking too, my man. Mario, great talking to you again. But again, Mario Bautista will be back in action at UFC 292 up in my neck of the woods, Boston, Massachusetts, August the 19th against Cody Garbrandt. As always, man, I appreciate your time. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where they can follow you on social media. Have you had anyone to thank, anything to plug? The floor is yours.
Yeah, my social media, Instagram, Mario_Bautista. Um, you could just type me and you'll find me. And I just want to thank the lab, my teammates. Want to thank my teammates for doing such a good job last night. And I just want to thank you for doing this interview as well.